You are watching FLIPTV newspaper front page review. My name is Elizabeth Akbati. Let's dive in. The Guardian. Anxiety lingers over insecurity fate of displaced persons. Senate 10-year passport ban for Nigerians convicted abroad. New tax law exempt over 90% of Nigerians from PAYE, says Oyedele. Alleged genocide. Congressman urges Trump to designate Nigeria's country of particular concern. NENAERLS. Cost of food production rose by 36% in 2025. Abbas Abia lawmaker clash over Nnamdi Kanu's health condition. Natasha returns to Senate after 6-month suspension. Power generation offtake dropped by 5% as discourse lose 58 billion naira. 2027, Tinubu shades political baggage as embattled minister Niger resigns. And that's all for The Guardian. Moving on to the Platform Times. Police widows, they demand sex before paying our husband gratitudes. Osun Amotekun commander escapes assassination as gunmen attack convoy, storms residents. Enugu lawmaker cries out, "We are hungry, owe 2 months' salaries." UNPM Colonel Ajina Egba hails Abiodun over Gateway Airport demands urgent fix of Ogun Road. Nigerian Army officer dies after wife allegedly sets him ablaze in Akwa Ibom. CGN warns new CCT chairman against personal political influence. 4.5 billion naira flood trial. EFCC. Emefiele lawyer clashes over phone forensics. Police arrest 3 Egyptians for assaulting security officers in UCTH. ADC not desperate for power. We want to serve Nigerian, David Mark says. Senate approves 10-year passport ban for Nigerians convicted abroad. And that's all for the Platform Times. The Daily Independent. Despite raising FX inflows, debit payments squeezing fiscal space, as Tinubu seeks $2.3 billion external loan for budget defects in orders. FG unveils $100 million carbon project to boost green growth agenda. 2 out of 3 Nigerian children suffer food poverty, UNICEF says. Finally, minister accused of certificate forgery resign. 98% of Nigerians will be exempted from PAYE in 2016, Oyedele says. 2027, failure is not an option. We must complete win, ADC says. Vows to change outdated pattern of political class serving itself. Nigeria's non-interest capital market hit 1.6 trillion naira on page 7. Yakubu leaves as INEC chair, hands over to Agbamuche Mbu. No going back on strike, ASU tells FG on page 6. Akpabio promises an open accountability responsive Senate. Natasha returns after 6 months suspension, also on page 6. And that's all for the Daily Independent. To the Daily Times, Tinubu seeks NASA approval for new $2.3 billion external borrowing, $500 million foreign Suzuk. Naji bows to pressure, resign as president accepts his resignation on page 15. Rep says medical intervention for Nnamdi Kanu on page 4. Senior Supreme Court reserves judgment on withheld Osun local government funds on page 2. INEC Yakubu bows out, hands over to May Agbamuche Mbu as acting chairman. And that's all for the Daily Times. The News Direct. Certificate forgery scandal. Naji pulls out. Tinubu accepts resignation. Osun 2026. I would win by over 90% in APC primary. Omoshori says. Odudo flags off integrated muscle rubella, polio, HPV immunization campaign. POS operators risk 20 million fine from unapproved ownership charges. Agbamuche is acting INEC chair as Yakubu ends 10-year tenure. Gateway Airport, Ogun State achieves historic milestone as Abiodun flags off first commercial flight. And that's all for the News Direct. Moving on to the blueprint, INEC Chair Yakubu makes history, hands over to Agbamuche Mbu after 10 years. Kano among Nigerians' fastest growing revenue state, official says. Tinubu accepts Naji's resignation as minister. Sports. World Cup qualifier, 17 players train in Pokowani. NNPCL has replied queries over unaccounted 210 trillion naira, says Senate. FG6 NASA approval for $2.35 billion new external loan. First Bank urges collective action to boost financial access, spur innovation. UN welcomes first ICC students certificate after 2 decades. And that's all for the blueprint. Yes, Nigeria. Mr. President, I resign as Tinubu accepts resignation of Minister Naji over allegations of certificate forgery. Bini Palace rejects Iyaloja for Edo Market, once against cultural imposition. FG6 $2.35 billion naira loan, $500 million from Suzuki. Moving on to the first daily. End of an era. Tinubu honors Yakubu as Agbamuche Mbu takes over at INEC. FG moves to revert ASU strike. Reconstitutes negotiation. Senate okays 10-year passport ban for Nigerian jailed abroad. NASU to stage nationwide protest October 9 over unpaid salaries. Bayelsa government buys 2 aircraft for commercial flights. Tinubu declares assets to 2 National Assembly bills, cites fiscal legal queries. Dangote Pegasus dispute threatens investors' confidence. Moving on to the Punch. Tinubu to pick new INEC chair this week. Culti skill 4 in Lagos, Ogun communities. Tinubu access to National Assembly bills over policy clash. Police pensioners rally for protest after talks collapse. Right at the top, Honorable Abbas intervention stall minority leader impeachment. World Bank dismisses Nigerian single-digit inflation target. Displaced Borno resident recounts Boko Haram invasion. And that's all for the Punch and also for the newspaper front page review with FLIPTV. Thanks for stopping by. See you next time.